1985, Lisbon, Portugal. At approximately 9 o'clock a.m., sounds could be heard coming from the ground. Many civilians were at or on their way to church when the earthquake hit. Churches crumbled atop worshipers mid-service, along with other parts of the city. And during the aftershocks, many tried to take shelter on boats hoping to be safe out at sea. But much to their dismay, those at sea were swallowed in a tsunami that soon followed. Massive waves marched past the shore to seize all foreseeable debris, and with Godspeed, they vacuumed buildings, bodies both alive and dead, into the Atlantic. And to add to their misfortunes, many spontaneous fires erupted and spread throughout the city. 3/4 of the city destroyed, 10 to 100,000 killed. I was in 7th grade when I felt the aftershocks of being uprooted for the umpteenth time. It felt like the ground crumbled beneath the weight of my fragile middle school mind, mind you. Middle school was a balancing act on a broken beam. I survived with only my 3.8 and a close circle of friends that dwindled over break. And as friends drifted away, I learned to do the same until a tidal wave displaced me. Same district, but different worlds. Miles turned into silence and distance into lifetimes. My life receded into the all too familiar isolation I once took solace in. I felt like I was dying. Deep sea diving in troubled waters, I was weak. There was nowhere else to go, nowhere past 6 feet deep. I pretended I could breathe, burned my eyes so I could see. Swimming into safety was just swimming to a beach, so I had to swim to see what I could see. But then I turned back. Am I stronger? Am I weak? The answer escapes me. Retreats out to sea, ripping debris from consciousness relentlessly. Everything I wanted lives down a street miles long and lifetimes away from me. What's left for me? High school graduation? A college degree? Whatever happened to just being happy? I'm a heartless silhouette. A scarecrow of a man abandoned in a field of maize and raised in a maze in which there is no escape. Even if I wanted to, there was nowhere else to run, nowhere to turn. In my desperate field of solitude, all I could do is burn. Trapped in rage and whatever else my mind could muster in resentment, I suffered in the inferno of my own creation. And after seeing these events play out, many were led to indulge in the Enlightenment, a movement that sponsored logic and science. And despite its contributions, the church never looked favorably upon it, because through it began the separation of church and state. Many saw the Lisbon disasters as the wrath of God, while others saw it as an absence or malevolence of God. If this were truly the best of all possible worlds, then why is there suffering so? Why is there evil in a world created by a benevolent God? Why should tens of thousands have died? The answer is simple. We don't know. There's no way to understand the inner workings of the Almighty, and try as we might to understand, we need to understand that things happen. Bad things happen. We can question night and day, but nothing can happen just standing still. Because during the fires, all who were able to escape to the hills. Standing still is how you burn. Standing still is how you never learn to learn from life and its many twists and turns. Turn your eyes to something greater, and greater will come. Because after the fire, the earthquake was done. They felt the effects, of course, but they were survivors. The waves never dragged them under, the shaking never broke them, and the flames, they never took them. They escaped death and they lived. I lived. And just like those in Lisbon, life could have been over, but they rebuilt the city from the fallen lives in ash, because sometimes all you have is scotch tape and broken glass. We do the best with what we have and let the rest fall into place. Just because you finished last, it doesn't mean you haven't won the race.